Like I said, I was kind of amazed by the response when Angela announced that she was going to be retiring from radio. Not retiring, period, but retiring from radio. The number one question that was asked when I made the post on Facebook about sort of what I'm walking into was, please tell me Wine Wednesday is coming back. And I went, absolutely it is. Then I got thinking about it. I don't drink wine. and it's probably not the greatest thing to say, but it's a perfect spot for us to maybe reset the button a little bit and start from scratch in a sense and maybe introduce some people to some wines that maybe they hadn't heard about before. So Mike Roberts joining us now from Co-op Wine Spirits Beer. Thanks so much for joining us today, Mike.
Hey, thanks for having me. Good afternoon.
It is, it's an interesting spot for a first-time wine connoisseur to try to go in, because you go into the store and you go, there's just so much product, right? Like, you're not even caring about the colors, but you're caring about where it's from and the price and everything else. So what is the key for a first timer when they're walking in your eyes?
Oh, wow. That's a really good question. I think it's great that you're here and you know, you sort of admittedly don't necessarily care too much for wine, because
it's not even that I didn't care about it. It was just that it wasn't something that had entered my palate at all.
Yeah, sure. And that, I mean, you're the kind of the best people to talk to be honest with you. Me talking with other wine experts is probably less fun than people probably imagine. But that kind of goes down a rabbit hole usually. But it's way more fun talking with newbies and getting people started, or at least venturing out. You know, like there's a lot of people out there for sure, and meaning the vast majority of people who really only drink kind of what we dub as like entry-level wine.
Right.
You know, the kind of what can I get for under $10 because I don't care enough to really spend anymore. Right. And getting those people to ask questions and interested and wondering, you know, kind of the question you just asked me is really the best part about it all, is making people realize how different these wines really are from each other, and the selection and the experience opportunities that are out there. So, and that is the biggest thing though, like, where do you start? People do walk into our stores, our larger format stores, and they kind of stop in their tracks for a second. They're like, oh, like where do I go?
Do I even start?
Yeah. And I think you're kind of on it though, is red or white, or like, what is it that you're looking for? And that's what I ask people when, you know, they ask for any kind of advice from me as well. What is your expectation? What are you hoping to get out of this experience? And then through a series of questions from there, we can take you down that path. There's definitely wines in the store that I spend my money on and that I like to drink, but that's not necessarily anything close to what you're interested in, right? So for me, my job is just to know the products that we have and, you know, help you to find the one that is going to be, or more than one, hopefully, that's going to be an experience that you enjoy, right? So
has it become easier over the years? And we were talking just before we came on, and you've been in the wine business since 2006. I've seen such a dramatic change in the way any kind of alcohol is sort of flavored now, right? Like, beer is no longer just beer, right? Yeah. Rum isn't just rum. There's all kinds. Does that make your job easier or harder to jettison the beer drinker, for example, to wine, just based on the fact that you can kind of make an easier transition based off taste?
No, it makes it easier for sure, actually, and makes it more exciting. And I think it's a really big deal, and it's exciting for us that our market is changing so quickly. Even in the wine industry in Calgary over the last 10 years, for sure, people's tastes have changed. But also, people need to remember, like, we are looking at this craft beer revolution, but this just used to be the way it was before Prohibition, right? Like people don't realize how much Prohibition still impacted us even 15 years ago and changed the way we drank and what alcoholic beverages we drank. Like, none of this is new. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not new. It just had changed for many decades and is kind of coming back again, having this local producers, and you know, in Marda Loop, there's going to be a brewery now. It's like, it's just for people in Marda Loop. I mean, anyone can go there, obviously, but like, you know, they're not looking to dominate
show your
the country,
ID with
right?
your address, and that's the only way you're getting it. No,
but that's just the way it used to be, and so I think it's great when people expand, and you know, they're not like, oh, this is all I drink or all I eat. You know, I think that's kind of sad if that's the way you are. You're missing out on life. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So you brought something in today, of course, and it's a Pinot Noir. I know how to say that one.
Awesome.
I feel good about that one. Explain exactly what we've got here.
Sure. So Pinot Noir is the grape variety. So there's lots of different species of grape varieties and different types within those species. Pinot Noir is kind of growing a little bit in our market in Calgary. It's in the glass. Pinot Noir usually looks a little lighter and usually feels a little lighter on the palate. And we, of course, in Alberta say go big or go home. So in our cool climate and rich food that we eat, Pinot Noir tends to not, be the super favorite here in Alberta, but it's definitely growing on people and they're exploring it a little bit more. So a great example of Pinot Noir from the Cambria Winery, which is in California, the Santa Maria Valley. It's actually the Jackson family, if you've ever heard of Kendall Jackson Wines, which is a big brand from California. Mm-hmm. And this is the three ladies, the two daughters and the wife, Barbara Banke. Of course, Jess Jackson passed away a few years ago. And they make a really great Pinot Noir in California and Monterey, so you get cooling effects from the ocean and keeps the wine nice and bright. And it's really great with all kinds of different dishes. Pinot Noir, because it has higher acidity, that's a mouth-watering sensation.
Right. Goes
with all kinds of stuff. So for those Albertans out there that are looking to get into wine, but you're into hunting and stuff like that, I would say Pinot Noir would be best with like duck or game meat, venison, deer, or elk or anything like that if you're doing that stuff. So
before we do the test run, what should I be expecting out of the taste?
Sure. Pinot Noir is low in tannins, and that's that wrinkling you get on your gums and your teeth, right? That some people, that's why they don't like red wine. So it's lower in that. That comes from the skins. Pinot Noir is really thin-skinned, which is why there's not much color and not much tannins in there. And like all red fruit, raspberries and like pomegranate and maybe even cranberries, things like that. And I find a little bit of black tea in this wine. So it's kind of a unique flavor profile and really juicy and pretty soft and easygoing. And like I say, that makes it pair with sort of a more diverse dishes and options for you. So
okay. Well, why don't we take a glance?
Oh, yeah. Cheers.
Cheers to the first one of many. Yeah, absolutely.
Many wine Wednesdays ahead of us. But it's really great. This wine's on sale in all of our stores right now for $19.99, which is about $16 off. So it's a premium wine by any and all standards, and I think it follows through.
And it is smooth. I just took a little swig, and that's about as smooth as you can get.
Yeah, so it sure is.
That works out really well. Mike Roberts from Co-op Wine Spirits Beer. Thank you so much for joining us for Wine Wednesday again.
My pleasure.
That is Mike Roberts back here on 770 CHQR's Wine Wednesday.